550 properties and knocked out power to 60,000 homes. Cyclone.
The scene. What are firefighters doing? Are they obviously inside the building? Are they doing anything from the outside?
There's nearly 500 feet across and over 320 feet deep. Mexico's Popocatépetl volcano has formed a new dome. It was detected on Tuesday, February 17th, according to the National Center for Disaster Prevention, and measures nearly 500 feet across and over 320 feet deep. On a very clear day, the volcano can be seen from Mexico City and is North America's second highest volcano. According to the Smithsonian Institution, the volcano has had nearly 50 major eruptions in recorded history. I'm Matt Sampson, the Weather Channel.
A cyclone packing heavy winds ripped through northeastern Australia on Friday. The storm damaged more than 550 properties and knocked out power to 60,000 homes. Cyclone Marcia battered towns of the eastern coast of Queensland state with winds gusting up to 285 kilometers an hour. No casualties were reported. 700 soldiers are being sent to the worst-hit areas to help locals in the aftermath of that storm. The system weakened as it moved over land but continued to bring heavy rains and minor flooding.
Can we get that in there a bit further though?
Yes, nice.
That's maybe a lot out.
Want to look more?
You okay, Vicky?
That's going to break the line. Yeah, it might be better turning it around though and driving it in a bit deeper.
It's not coming over.
No. Roof there.
Just look out in case anything gets over. Hey! Oh, well, help you over.
Where are you going?
Go on, help her up, help her up. What's your head there? Hello? Okay, Faye?
Okay, Faye. Just get your boots through.
Sheepy's first, Faye.
Come on,
Right there, no, don't come through yet. We'll push it. I'll try a little bit further. Let me get that inside door open.
Can you get that jack up higher?
Just watch your head. Okay. That might be the go. That might push.
You need to get that jack up.
Straight up. Go back in. Leave a room. Can you get through there, Faye? I don't think yeah, you'll fit through there.
Yep.
You alright?
Yep.
Help her up. That's it.
Oh, around the
Hey! There you go.
Where are you?
Get her on.
Well done, fellas.
Good interview on there, guys.
Now, an inside look at the dramatic rescue of kidnapped California teen Hannah Anderson. You may remember when she was abducted by a family friend nearly 2 years ago. ABC's Pierre Thomas has an exclusive look at the FBI's video showing the dramatic moments leading up to Anderson's rescue.
It was the ugliest of nightmare scenarios. A California house on fire. In the ashes, a shocking discovery. Charred remains. Christina Anderson bound and gagged. Nearby, her 8-year-old son, Ethan. They had been killed. Her daughter, 16-year-old Hannah, was missing. The prime suspect, a trusted family friend, 40-year-old James DiMaggio.
I'm begging you to let my daughter go. You've taken everything else.
Amber Alerts issued, a massive manhunt launched, and the FBI called in to help.
There's no turning back for him. I think he thought that he and Hannah would have a relationship and she would somehow fall in love with him.
6 days later, nearly 1,000 miles away from San Diego, horseback riders near Cascade, Idaho, report seeing two people matching DiMaggio and Hannah's description.
The first positive lead we had.
The FBI sent up a jet with a sophisticated long-range camera recording from thousands of feet above. You're seeing video exclusively obtained by ABC News. Look, they discover a blue tent. Then a dramatic moment. There at the lake, two people. Look again. It's Hannah and DiMaggio. DiMaggio takes off his shirt and moves toward Hannah. Later, something unexpected. Hannah suddenly starts waving. DiMaggio never notices. He's over to the right tending the fire. But look, Hannah keeps waving. Is she signaling the aircraft? It was time for the FBI hostage rescue team to act. Assistant FBI Director Jim Yacone oversaw the rescue effort.
They essentially start ascending the Moorhead Ridge up and around for about 3 miles.
Stealth was the key.
Stealth was the key.
These photographs of the campsite seen for the first time give a hint of what the FBI believes was a dicey situation. This is DiMaggio's tent. He has a rifle, a handgun, a machete, and look right there, handcuffs.
DiMaggio is moving from the campsite to go gather wood, and once he got far enough away, that's when they made their last move, their final approach.
Daylight's starting to fade, but the airplane's infrared camera captures everything. Hannah starts running, and you can see she's suddenly joined by at least 2 FBI agents who come into the picture, one of whom grabs her hand. Watch again, the moment of freedom.
There's that moment of silence. The next thing we hear is shots fired, and we heard one down hard and jackpot. When we heard jackpot, it was an indication we knew that Hannah was okay.
As for DiMaggio, authorities say he fired at least 1 shot. The FBI returned fire, and the race against time was over. Pierre Thomas, ABC News, Washington.
The record-breaking cold has really left its mark in a lot of ways across the South, but none more unique than these pictures of an icy remain of a Jeep Cherokee in the parking lot of a medical center in Greenville, North Carolina. According to a WCNC report, onlookers thought the driver warming the engine before pulling out was what enabled the icy imprint to stay embedded to the curb when the Jeep pulled away. Weather Underground observations showed freezing rain with temperatures remaining below freezing that day. I'm Ari Starsolari, the Weather Channel.
Very cold. In fact, the first 3 live shots, you barely can feel your face because any exposed skin, you can definitely feel it. But you have to be happy about the sight that you see behind me. You almost feel like James Bond in terms of just looking over the edge and looking at the water flowing. This is Niagara Falls. What a beautiful sight. So many people flocking here doing this frozen wonderland to see this beauty. As we walk a little closer so you can see this, you can see the water flowing over. Some images show you a frozen picture, but guess what? The water's still moving here. More than 20 million gallons flowing over, creating this large mist. And this is the time that photographers like to show up to take pictures of this beautiful sunrise. And of course, sunrises are free, so you can obviously enjoy this picture. Now, what we were just told is actually the ice builds up so high down there, sometimes it gets 10 stories high. That's how much ice just comes through this area. The American side back in this direction, behind that mist, looks frozen, but we can see the water rolling off the edge. This just compounds the coldness that's been throughout the area. We're going to show you this graphic that shows you how cold it is across the country. In Kentucky, Milwaukee, -13 right now. It's been a lot lower before. Of course, Boston hasn't been above freezing in the last 15 days, and where we're standing, -30 wind chill. It is very cold, but people still keep coming here to enjoy the sight. And I got to tell you, for my crew who's been standing outside with me this entire time, we love the view, but it is very bone-chilling cold.
Ukraine's defense spokesman Andriy Lysenko said that some 10 Russian tanks and an unspecified number of troops were headed towards the rebel-controlled city of Novoazovsk on the southern coast. There was no immediate comment from Russia on this statement. However, in the past, Russia has always denied that its military is involved in eastern Ukraine. And on Thursday, Russian military held aviation exercises close to Ukraine's border. And according to the Russian Defense Ministry, Russian pilots took part in this exercise in Russia's southern military districts. And it was reported that in 2014, Russia held more than 3,500 military exercises, and Moscow said it plans to hold even more military drills this year. Meanwhile, the deputy defense minister of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People Republic, Andrei Basurin, said that the rebels do not oppose the idea of having international peacekeepers in eastern Ukraine.
With regard to peacekeepers, at the very beginning, when this whole conflict started, we offered at that time to the Russian Federation and all the UN Security Council member states to look into the issue and send peacekeepers here. We were told no at that time. So if they want to send peacekeepers, we are not against it. Let them send them.
Earlier, Russia dismissed this suggestion, saying that international peacekeepers in Ukraine would be a violation of the peace agreement. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesman Alexander Lukashevich insisted that Kiev and the rebels are responsible for implementing the Minsk agreements. Anya Ardaeva, CCTV, Moscow.
From Dubai, where a major fire has broken out at a landmark 79-story apartment building. You're looking at the first images we have received. The fire started just about 2 hours ago, which is to say at about 2 a.m. local time. The number of people inside the 336-meter torch tower is unknown at this point. No deaths have been reported. The cause of the blaze is not known, but as you look at these first images, you'll note that the flames are leaving the building in 2 or perhaps 3 locations. As the camera pounds down, you'll see the flames are leaving the building on different sides of the building and in different parts of the building. We'll continue to follow developments, but this is bound to be a challenge to firefighters. Skyscrapers, and this one ranging about 1,100 feet high, are a challenge, both because of the need to evacuate so many people who may be inside and because obviously there's a limit to how far ladders and fire trucks can reach with their best efforts. But once again, you're looking at the first pictures we have of an iconic building in Dubai, which has been on fire since 2 a.m. First reports don't speak of anyone being hurt. They speak of an orderly evacuation, that at least from local media. But first-hand accounts suggest the fire is getting worse. We'll have more details as they become available. Hamza Naomi joins us now on the line. What can you tell us?
Hi, I'm standing here in front of the tower. It's called the Torch Tower, the tallest building in front of the marina. Police are everywhere. People are down being evacuated. I can see fire still on the top floor, but you cannot cross up. Police are just blocking the street that leads to the tower. And currently we're just seeing fire department cars and police are everywhere. Just not. I don't see any other casualties yet.
How much of the building is on fire? The images that we have suggest that the fire is in 2 or 3 different places on more than one side of the building.
What I see exactly, because I'm in the street that comes from just one side. The top floor from the left side confronting the sea is on fire. We can see that clearly, although there's a dust storm, but still you can clearly see that the flames are off the last floor. You can't tell exactly if it's in more than one floor, because for me I just see it's on the top floor. Maybe it's 2 or 3 floors, but currently I'm not sure.
Can you see any ambulances? Are they treating people for any injuries?
What I can see is just people on the ground being evacuated, a lot of police cars, fire department cars, but I don't see any ambulances.
Now, obviously, you're at ground level. How windy is it around you? How much of a problem are they going to have simply with the wind as they try to fight the fire?
It is a very, very strong wind, very strong wind. I mean, you can see the flames going up the top floor with about maybe 2 or 3 meters. That indicates that maybe it's because of the wind driving it away, and maybe police or fire departments have difficulties controlling that with this given strong wind.
Now, the images we have, which we're continuing to show our viewers, were taken before police and firefighters arrived on the scene. What are firefighters doing? Are they obviously inside the building? Are they doing anything from the outside?
From what I can see, the fire departments are down, constantly looking up and giving signs to talking with the walkie-talkies, and exactly what's happening. It's difficult to tell as the police is blocking the whole street. You can't get closer, but you can see the police, the fire department cars right at the bottom of the building. A lot of people at the same time are being driven away from the building. There's like a bit of mass crowd being driven away from the building, but you can't exactly tell if there's any casualties from this far.
A report published Friday citing information provided by former U.S. National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden revealed that U.S. and British agencies hacked into the world's biggest maker of phone SIM cards. The alleged hack on the Franco-Dutch company Gemotel potentially allowed the U.S. and U.K. to monitor the calls, emails, and texts of billions of mobile users around the world. Gemotel, which provides about 2 billion SIM cards a year for 85 countries, said Friday it is investigating the alleged hack. The report follows previous revelations from Snowden that the NSA had a program that allowed it to access emails and web data from the world's largest internet companies, including Google, Yahoo, and Facebook. The report was published by The Intercept, an investigative news website.
Luxury homes north of Perth are at risk of being washed into the sea because of beach erosion. It's a problem that could affect tens of thousands of WA properties, and so far the state government hasn't helped.
Jim Battleland says it's a matter of weeks before his home of almost 20 years is swept away.
So are you basically just waiting for this to disappear?
It will disappear.
Erosion has been a problem for years in the tiny coastal hamlet of Seabird, just north of Perth. But in the past few weeks, it started to put homes at risk. This is how the same stretch of land looked in 2002. There was once a road and a usable beach.
I consider this as an emergency because the house will fall into the water.
Jim is the town's only GP, but says he has no other option but to leave.
It's going to go down, it's worthless.
The stretch of coastline is unallocated Crown land, which means the local council isn't responsible. Over the years, the Shire of Gingin has looked at solutions like geobags, successfully used at Queen's Beach, and a seawall. But the $1 million price tag means nobody wants to pay for it.
Residents are now in a race against time. The situation now so bad, they've trucked in boulders themselves in a desperate bid to save their homes.
A federal government study estimates 20 to 30,000 residential buildings in WA worth between $5 and $8 billion are at risk from erosion.
So it is something that the government is taking a head-in-the-sand approach to, and it's something they need to step up and deal with in a more comprehensive way.
You know that you can do something about it. The sheer frustration is that nobody bothers to get off their backside.
Tegan Sapwell, 9 News.
If you're still thinking that there are 9 planets in our solar system, think again.
NASA's solar system page currently lists dwarf planets, including Pluto, and Ceres, the planet you've probably never heard of. NASA's Dawn spacecraft was launched back in 2007, and it'll soon start orbiting Ceres, but it's already sending back crisp, clean pictures. Newly released images were taken when Dawn was 52,000 miles from Ceres. The images show craters and what NASA calls mysterious bright spots. Ceres is the largest body between Jupiter and Mars in the main asteroid belt, and it has a diameter of about 590 miles. Ceres is not a new discovery. In fact, it was found in 1801, 129 years before Pluto was found. Originally, it was called a planet, then an asteroid, and now a dwarf planet. I mean, that'll trigger an identity crisis. The mission director calls Ceres a giant mystery. Some scientists think it used to have a subsurface ocean and that it may still have liquid water beneath its icy surface. Scientists say they hope to solve that mystery and others when the tractor-trailer-sized spacecraft moves in. So how many planets are we up to now? NASA says there may be hundreds more worlds in our own solar system.